Live from Los Angeles, welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jess Mollier, the dancing queen.
Yes.
Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku.
Right, and today is all about Manifestation Monday. We're going to talk about a few things you can do to manifest happiness.
Love that.
I thought Rob
You thought
might
I would,
like that.
yeah, just a little bit.
I did that just for him.
How much I love you.
And I'm manifesting motivation today. I have a hard case of the Mondays, hashtag Motivation Monday. Also, I'm so excited to welcome to this show. We have some very special guests. Miss Nikki Haskell is in the house. Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning.
She is a fearless leader, an entrepreneur, pioneer in cable television. It's an absolute honor to have you on our show today.
Iconic.
She is iconic.
And of course, Miss Angela Lewis. She is a rising star, Michigan girl, born and raised, right? In the house. Hi, Angela. How are you today?
Hi, I'm so good. How are you?
Love the yellow.
Thank you.
You are just sunshine. And Artsy Agnes is in the house. I feel like you should give us a ballet pose or something right now. I am so constantly motivated by your Instagram. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
So beautiful.
So here on Good Morning La La Land, we like to know what your morning routine is like. How do you start your day?
That's a good
Nikki,
question.
I'm very curious. I'd love to start with you. What's your morning routine?
Well, I get up very early. I get up about 5:30 in the morning. My phone starts ringing like the crack of dawn. I go to the gym. First, I make my bed every day, go down to the gym, get dressed, and I'm out on the beat by no later than 10 o'clock. I have meetings, lunch every day. I go to the Soho House, the Beverly Hills Hotel. I work all day, and then I go to dinner. I go to Craig's. I go to the Soho House. I go to the Tower Bar. I go all over the town. I'm up, out, and at it all day.
Wow. I think I'm looking at my future. You and I will come from the same cloth, Nikki.
And then I go dancing on Saturday night, so I always, never leave a stone unturned.
Oh, well, I'll bring my dancing shoes.
For sure.
Angela, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, I want to be like Nikki when I grow up. So it all depends on what's happening in the day. If I have to get up and go to set at 6 o'clock in the morning, then my morning doesn't really go the way that I would normally have it. But I like to get up in the morning around 6:45, 6:30 sometimes. I meditate minutes, and then usually like every other day I have a session with my trainer, so I hit the gym and then I come back, and then the day just kind of tumbles out, whatever's happening.
Love it. Yeah,
Awesome.
30 minutes meditation. I love it.
Definitely.
Agnes, what about you? How do you start your day?
I think we have a pretty similar routine. Yeah, I start my day with usually like about a 10 to 15 minute meditation and just stretch for like 30 minutes. And if I have time, I usually take a yoga class before I start my day. But if I don't, then I'll just go right into my schedule.
Wow, which is one of the most socially responsible schedules
I've noticed.
you've ever seen. That is ethical, and her schedule's even better. Well, thank you all so much for being here. We're excited to talk to you more later in the show.
I love how the ballerinas take meditation or yoga, and my salsa dancer girlfriends take ballerina, and it's like there's definitely like they're all like it's all correlated.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's amazing. Flexibility.
Flexibility.
Dance
Art.
is great for the mind, great for the mind and the body. So, Erin, how was your weekend?
Great Saturday day. Okay, so we decided this is my whole thing. I try and do a pattern interrupt, usually once a weekend or once every 2 weeks. And we went down to Laguna. I was like, let's take the day. We just go down for the day. And it said on the weather that it would be sunny by 10 a.m. So instead of getting up at 5 a.m. like I wanted to, I was like, well, we'll wait a little bit and then head down. So we went down. We actually went to, this is like a little like escapism is going down to the Montage. You can go have breakfast down there. You can work out of their like, you know, their lobby, and you can walk down on the most beautiful beach ever. Well, it never got sunny. 10 a.m. came and left, and it was still cloudy, so we decided to head back kind of early. We shopped around, did some things, whatever, came back. And we laid down for a nap at 6 o'clock at night and never woke up. It was like, apparently, we needed a little bit of rest. But Sunday was quite fascinating because Jess and I went to the celebrity baseball game. Thank you, Angelica, for inviting us. lots of celebrities. Christina Pascucci was on the
Oh,
field.
yeah.
She broke her finger
I saw
in her
that.
knees, like a bunch of stuff. And apparently I won a prize after we left because we left before they were doing the raffling tickets.
Oh,
You
how
won?
fun.
I guess so. A meet and greet. I don't know who it's with yet, but we'll
Look at you
find out.
manifesting,
Right?
manifesting
It
even
was,
the
a,
celebrity
it was a
baseball game.
really fun event. You know, it was all in support of Dee Dee Jackson and the Jackson family. And, you know, stars from all walks came out to really support. It was a ton of fun just to be a part of that community. And Erin and I, of course, you know, do our due diligence and we walk the carpet as you do at a Little League game in Los Angeles, right?
Right.
First of all, there was ballet and then there was a red carpet. So we're walking the carpet and there was a monkey.
There was Sugar Shane Mosley, the boxer, and he had a monkey.
He had a monkey in a diaper. Of course, we're like, okay, we need the photo opportunity for that guy, right? And it jumped on my
on
head.
Jeff's head.
I launched from him, grasped onto my blonde hair, and just, I mean,
And
it,
Oh my
I
God.
this
became a
wasn't like a
trapeze.
cute little, kind little monkey. Like this was like, I was a little scared. Like I was thinking, thank goodness she didn't get a bit or
I
something.
think you guys wrote something on
Yeah.
it today. I just didn't know it was
Yeah.
monkey business.
Yeah, it was absolutely monkey business. Absolutely the scariest thing that's ever happened to me.
It was a little
Were you freaking out,
much,
Jess?
No, it was very surreal. I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, there was a red carpet at a Little League game, and then there was a monkey on my head. I was like, all right, I think I need a break today. Too much Craig's in my life. I think I need a
I wonder
nap.
what that means. Instead of having a monkey on your back, it's on your head. Like, what does
Yeah, I
that
don't know.
mean?
Well, you know,
I mean,
my acupuncturist tells me I have monkey brain, and quite literally,
There you
I think I do. It's his way of saying my mind just never slows down, and I don't slow down. So there you have it. On Saturday, I was at a really great photo shoot. I'm partnering with Collectin. It's a great new style company accessory app. And you can follow me on Instagram at Jeslyn if you want to check out some of the behind the scenes. My girl Miranda was there, captured a lot of it. And we're doing some really fun collaborations and some style things. So it's a cool way of me like curating my own online boutique. I'm really excited to share more about that with you guys. So I was hustling right onto the monkey jumping on my head.
How about you, Rob? Come on, I'm waiting
Oh, man,
for
I
the
had family in
story.
town. I had,
Okay,
I had
there's
family
a
in
story.
town.
Okay, we're gonna
Yeah,
get some story.
Not so much. I mean, mostly Saturday was spent at the beach and relaxing. Did a lot of reading. Like I need to read a lot and meditate a lot. That for me is everything. Workout, of course. Wash the car, of course. But then I had family in town, and you know, a cousin of mine is going through a tough time right now, just health-wise. But he's a trooper, so he'll be all right. That was it, pretty much it. That's why I didn't get to make the event, unfortunately. But I did check out the pictures and the Insta story. It looked amazing. It looked fun.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. We were talking. All three of us were talking before because obviously the show and everything else gets very hectic sometimes, and just how like important it is to like go within and get grounded, and like if I don't do that, like it really takes a toll because there's a lot of moving parts throughout the week here.
But let's be real. We love these moving parts. It's been so much fun. Here is a recap from last week's show on Good Morning LaLaLand here at Focus TV.
Full moon is where everything is magnetized, like magnified, and so all of our emotions get magnified. All of our good and our bad everything gets magnified.
When you read the book, you'll see all the stories that I have and my wife has in there, and so half the book is my stories of transforming from being an egotistical man who knows everything and I'm always right, into someone who's a little more humble. And you see that transformation, and men have to learn that transformation.
The biggest lesson and challenge that I had was learning my self-worth, and I really gained that out of this. And that's something that is priceless and that nobody can ever take away from you.
Which is why I'm deeply purposed in teaching people how to recreate their relationships and make it magnificent.
Because relationships are about opening up wounds and healing those wounds, because then we get to a deeper love. We do much better in life. It can do.
Those were two really good interviews.
They were.
And I totally believe in everything about having relationships be a platform to heal, grow, and really, you know, experience our love and connection. And I have to say that I still think it was interesting, so fascinating how we're talking about how, you know, do we really believe that we can know we want to get married before we actually meet somebody that we would want to marry? And I think it's such a great debate and topic. We should bring back some more experts and debate that one.
I got a feeling we are. I got a feeling we are.
Well, every Friday here on Good Morning LaLaLand, we love to discuss dating, love, and relationships. Obviously, we try and curate the themes of the week, and Fridays are really fun for Friday Feels Like That.
For sure. So for today, Manifestation Monday or Motivation Monday. So I want to talk about tips and tricks to manifesting happiness. And we talk about that a lot because obviously Rob is a psychologist in happiness, positive psychology. So on Saturday also, even though it was cloudy, praise emojis, you know, Sergio decided to go in the ocean because he loves going in the ocean. So I was like, okay, go. I'll be right here like your mom, like watching you, right? So he goes in the ocean. He's just like hilarious, entertaining me the entire time. Like he knows I'm watching, so he's got to like make me laugh the whole time.
Ham it up.
And he's in the water. He's like trying to body surf against this, you know, landing on the sand, like just doing whatever. And he gets out and he's so happy and I'm so happy and blah, blah. And we were thinking about later, it's like, what is it about nature that makes us so happy?
Yeah.
So I'd love to know your viewpoint on that.
Wow, that's a big one. I would, for me, it's stillness. There's a presence and there's a stillness, and there's a non-judgmental awareness that is nature. Like the way I think about it, like all of nature is perfectly blissful except for man and woman. Like perfectly blissful. There's, you know, and so for me, I feel most deeply connected.
Wait, except for a man and woman?
Except for human beings.
Oh yeah, we're the only one.
Right, think about that.
We have issues,
like,
okay?
Yeah, think about that. Literally think about that.
Monkey brain.
That only human beings have made a problem out of their own existence. That, you know, like birds and dogs and puppies and all these things, they go through their own challenges, very much similar to human beings, but they don't make a problem of any of it. You know, they have loss, they have misfortune, they have illness, they have all these things happen, but it's human beings that make such a problem and have actually created something called misery, right? And we do it with our own minds.
We're masters of creating misery.
It's
I
true.
love that. No,
We
it's
are.
true. It's so true, right?
Yeah, we're like misery manufacturers.
So I was thinking about meditating on it, and of course, I think that going external is very important. Oftentimes when you find someone that's getting sad or depressed, we'll do almost like a location where we actually go outside and begin to walk and become external from our problems because they're all internal. So externalization in nature is so important. Pattern interrupt, of course, is very important with Mother Nature because it gets us out of our just habitual ways that get us in kind of like that stuck space. And then also law of vibration. So there is definitely a vibration that Mother Earth holds and nature holds that usually is a bit higher than we're at sometimes. So it gets us back in that.
I like to
space.
pattern interrupt myself and go to Malibu on the weekends. I made it one of my goals this summer. I thought I'm going to go to the beach at least one day out of every week and enjoy. So my phone has literally started cueing me how long it's going to take to get to Soho, Malibu from wherever I'm at on a Saturday. I thought, wow, this is fantastic. What a perfect way to create a routine to pattern interrupt myself. It reminds me where I've got to go. Now, granted, I am not getting in the vibes of nature. It's more like spicy margarita vibes at Soho, but hey, it works for me. So.
For sure.
When in a way, they sort of play the same role, right? Like, so alcohol helps often us quiet that like worrying, obsessive compulsive thinking brain, and nature allows you to do the same thing.
Well, yeah, and when you're at that house, you've got the ocean view right there.
You got the ocean view. That never hurts.
So true. But we want to know, how do you manifest happiness for yourself, knowing that pattern interrupt for sure is a must, especially living in LA. You got to get out to get back in to enjoy it.
You know what else I think too? Sometimes when you're in nature, it's just that you're away from people. I'm telling you, you're away from the energy and the stress and anxiety. And most people are full of stress and anxiety.
Rob
all
and I are
day.
so different than Jess. Jess is like the most social butterfly.
She's so good at
And
it.
we're like, we recharge by going within
Yeah.
and totally isolating ourselves for sure.
Yeah, I got a hive. Find my cave.
Well, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to discuss with three lovely ladies in the background how they have manifested lives that they love. Stay tuned.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Packrat.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting news from all over the world.
We are live.
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning LaLaLand, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. It's going to be a Good Morning LaLaLand.
Hola, yo soy Gina Moreno y soy una reportera aquí en Los Ángeles. Para mí, mi pasión es para decir las historias de las personas que han luchado lo imposible. Todas las entrevistas aquí en Focus TV. Hi, I'm Gina Moreno, a reporter here in Los Angeles, and my passion is to tell people's stories, the stories of people who have accomplished the impossible. For all the interviews, make sure to watch Focus TV.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are so honored to have Nikki Haskell in the house.
Here I am.
We are not officially related by blood as far as the DNA, but we are definitely connected via spirit because she is the original OG of hosting, of interviewing, of all the above. Socialite, an icon here in Hollywood. How are you, Nikki?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here. This is so much fun.
We're so happy to have
you. You guys are terrific. I love your team. I love the way you work together. It's fun.
Right? We took notes from you.
I hope so. I hope so.
Still taking notes.
You have lived quite the life.
I have.
You
and still do.
Right? Yeah. You're from Chicago, grew up at Beverly Hills High School, graduated from there.
Right.
You've been literally around the globe interviewing, having really a lot of fun. A ton of fun.
A ton of fun, without question. Because when I had, when I started my television show, it was in prehistoric cable. Do you know what I'm saying? You couldn't get a celebrity to go on. So, but I got everybody. The way I did it is I gave big parties every Friday night for a movie star, celebrity. They had a great list. We invited everybody, and it caught on. I traveled all over the world. The show was on for 6 years. Now it's on Amazon Prime. So, and it's great to look back. You do something 30 years ago, and in your mind you think, wow, it was really great, and then you look at it, it looks like terrible. But mine looks so great. I was so proud of it because I was the first person that ever interviewed Donald Trump. And I did the Trump Tower. That's why I have all the footage with. I've been friendly with Donald since 1971. I have the only interviews in the 80s with Andy Warhol. And all the footage from Studio 54.
Absolutely iconic. We have a look at some of the footage from the show.
Oh, good. Okay.
Nikki, I've known you since you were real young, and I must tell you, you look magnificent.
Oh,
you're really beautiful.
Sweetheart.
It's nice to be with you.
Well, it's glad that we all made it this far, isn't it?
I think so. That's very nice.
Great.
I think it is very nice. I'm happy for you too.
It's more of an unusual view. You never realize the scope of it until you actually have this view. Do you ever look at anything on the west side to do?
I really haven't. I am not
I am not really that familiar with the West Side.
Here we are at Studio 54 with the one, the only Steve Rebell. And I thank you for making all my evenings a lot more fun.
What can I say?
Oh, just say thank you. Plead guilty. The charges are flattering.
I don't plead guilty to any charge.
Now it must be so wonderful when you get out there and you sing New York and the crowd just stops. It must be a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I have to admit, it really is.
And you're wonderful. And I'm glad we could be here together.
Thank you, Nikki.
At the $1 Million Evening.
Wow, you've lived quite a life. So this is my intention for you to come in, because
Okay.
I think that so many people ask you about Donald Trump,
Right.
about X, Y, and Z, about whomever you've interviewed. I don't want to go there. Where
Okay.
I really want to go is I want to know about you and what you've really learned out of this journey and what we can take away. Because a lot of people high in fame end up killing themselves, becoming drug addicts,
right.
and doing whatever. So what have you learned through all these interviews?
Well, see, the interesting thing is, I was a stockbroker. You have to understand, my mother wanted me to be born married. So I was never prepared to do anything. So it's like a fluke I ended up being a stockbroker, among the first 5 female stockbrokers in the world. I guess I was a lot more driven than I realized. And when I did a show, they wanted to shoot it in a studio. Start like a Disco's Anonymous and turn me in. If I don't come up with some like really clever at Studio 54 and the Underground. And then what happened was, the only way I could keep the show on the air is I gave big parties every weekend. It was like, it's like I had no idea what I was doing. I was never educated in the field of television or anything else. And don't forget, in those days, I went to Rio de Janeiro with 120 pieces of equipment and 12 people. Now I could go with 2. I'm saying, so I did it under an adverse sense of, but it was so easy because Pan Am was sponsoring. They used to give me free tickets, and I used to go, and Rogers and Cowan was my PR firm, and they represented a lot of dictators. So I went to the Philippines with the Marcoses. I went to Chile with Pinochet. So I met all these interesting people, and I was never scripted. And sometimes I actually interviewed people and I thought it was somebody else. That was, oh, you're that person.
There's something very special about you, that you had the ability, without the training, to truly connect with countless celebrities, dictators. What is it, do you think, about yourself that allows you to create that connection?
Well, I look at everyone as someone exciting. I don't see class distinction, color distinction, anything. To me, everybody's everybody. And I'm friendly with so many people and so many different things. It made it easy. I sat next to them. We talked about what they did. They talked about what they like to do. And they really opened up to me. And don't forget, I interviewed people in the middle of the night at Studio 54. They told me lots of things. They would tell me things, but it was because I was always wireless mic'd, and we play back the tapes in the morning with, oh my God, what did he just say? But it was an amazing journey, because I never had any money to shoot the show, and it only perpetuated itself on parties. I did have some sponsors, but it was great. It was great fun. I was the first person to put fashion on television. Basically what it was an accounting of my life. I went to fashion shows, I went to parties, I went to lunches. See, Entertainment Tonight was a third person's view about how other people live. Mine was just firsthand. I just took the camera wherever I went, and it was great. And it was I met so many amazing people along the way and did so many fun things.
It seems like your mindset is what we all want. We want that mindset that only sees the perfection in things, only sees the things that are good about people. And we know that it can be good and it can be a downfall, right? Like, I know people have given you a hard time for hanging out with Donald Trump, and we're not political. We're not going to go into that conversation here. But how do you deal with overcoming that and still seeing someone for what is good in them and what they do?
I'm always from the glass is half full. I mean, it's never half empty for me. I see the best in everyone. I'm a very good friend of mine. I said, I think so-and-so is a criminal. He says, some of my best friends were criminals. You have to sort of see the best. I mean, of course, I'm very realistic and I'm very pragmatic about most things, but I really do see the best in everything. People always kid me about that. Don't you ever dislike anyone, Nikki? Basically, I don't. And I'm not catty and I'm not petty. And you talk about my relationship with Donald Trump. I've known him since 1971. You know, I'm almost like a godparent to all of his children. Ivana is my closest friend. I was just with her in Saint-Tropez. You know, I think anybody should be able to vote for anyone they want to vote for. I don't care who you vote for. I'm a Democrat. I voted for the Clintons. I was at the White House with them. You know, it's your choice. We live in America. Donald's the president, so he's the president. If Hillary were the president, then she would be the president. So that's just the way it is, you know?
You've led such a colorful life and done all these incredible interviews. What's next for you? What is...
Well, you know, I'm working on another project now. We're doing a new show called A Flashback to the Future, where I re-interview sort of the same people that I interviewed in the 80s. Ironically enough, a lot of them are still alive and become very successful. And of course, I always like to do things in television. I do a lot. I've got 11 documentaries on Donald and Studio 54. I'm doing one on Wednesday. So, because my footage is so iconic, which is a miracle. I own it, and you know, normally if you had done something like that, the network would own it, or somebody else should have a partner. But nobody ever wanted to be my partner, so I ended up with all the footage. So it was sort of like, because you know, you could be partners with somebody, next thing you know, they have all your footage. You know, just send the footage over here. You never see it again. Right. So I saved it all, and it's worked out great. I exercise equipment called the Star Cruncher, which I use every day. It's a belt with cords. I've gotten a huge response for that, so I'm bringing that back on the market. I have a new invention that's called a Star Shooter. You know, all my products are Star. So this is a case for your phone that stands, lights up and pulls out, makes into a selfie stick. It's very cool.
Oh my gosh, you're hilarious.
Why
so
Star?
How did you get this? How did you get this mindset? Were you born this way? Do you have a spiritual practice? Do you have some kind of thing that gets you in right mind?
You know what? I've always been focused, and my parents always gave me positive energy. You could do whatever you want, and I believed it, and I just did it. I mean, the fact that I was a stockbroker with no women on Wall Street, I went to restaurants and said men only. I thought, oh, that doesn't mean me. I went right in. I mean, I've never gone to the back of a line in my life. To me, a line is something you go to the front of. I've always had that mindset. You know, every day is not perfect. My mother used to say, take good days and bad days and treat them the same. If I've found out, because I've had some really tough times. You know, I had the StarCap business, and these football players came around, and they were taking my product to mask steroids, and they sued me, and I went out. They put me out of business for no reason at all. You know what? You have to compartmentalize things. You have to take it and put it over there and get back to you. Like the worst day, where everything it was like a major catastrophe. I looked in the mirror, I thought, you know, my hair really sort of looks great. I took all my ball gowns, I went down to my photographer and had my pictures taken. Sometimes you just have to say, you know, I'll get back to you later. And just get on with the day. You know, things work themselves out. They're never as bad as you think they're going to be. They're never as good as you think they're going to be. You know, of course, my romantic life sort of suffered over the years because I work so hard and I play so hard. I travel a lot and do a lot of things. And I lead a very exciting life. I've never stopped. I've never, you know, they said, oh, well, you get to be a certain age, you'll stop. Well, I am not at that age yet. I figure as long as I can get up and go and get up in the morning and get dressed and go out, I'm there.
Amen.
What surprised you most along this journey?
I think what surprised me most was the power that I have to propel myself into any situation. That I'm secure, I'm strong. You know, you never really know when you grow up. You know, I grew up in Beverly Hills, and it was great growing up here, and it gave me sort of a base for meeting so many people. And when I was a kid, my parents used to take me to nightclubs, so I saw Carmen Miranda and Jimmy Durante, and I mean, I had that kind of a childhood, so I was never afraid to do anything. And I was, as you said, my theme is, if you can't do it in high heels, I'm not interested.
Me neither.
So, but yeah, you've got to do it. You know, I mean, you've just got to be positive. You've just got to you can't let other people get you down. I mean, you had a conversation here about you must be around people that are positive energy. Because I don't want to hear that your car didn't work and that you fell on your face and that you know, you've got to make yourself count. You've got to be positive.
Well, a lot of people would, I mean, I think that there's kind of like two places you can go, and one is you can just choose that mindset that you're just going to focus on what's positive and you're going to go there, or you're going to have a life that you commit to a responsibility, whatever that is, taking on nonprofits or whatever that is. A lot of people would say, if you're just positive, that's, you know, you're not looking at, like, you know, whatever it may be, people doing harm in the world. But I think it's just a choice, and I think it's beautiful that you've chosen to go that way.
But I see everything that goes on. Right. I see adversity, I see poverty, I see children being mistreated, I see everything. And being positive makes it easier to deal with these things. Yes, I don't like a lot of things that are going on. Yes, I voted for Donald Trump. I don't like everything that he does. I write him letters and tell him I don't like this, or people come to me and say, how can you allow this? I try to address situations. You know, I'm not living in a dream world where I think every minute is perfect. I try to make the best out of every situation. You know, I mean, it's like I got stuck in the elevator, okay, and I was late, and everybody was yelling at me. These gorgeous firemen came and took me out of the elevator. I thought, wow, this is not so bad. Picture, right?
That's the best
and they held me across. They held me with their arms, and we took pictures like this and everything. You have to make the best out of every situation. You know, you have to make lemonade out of lemons. You know.
I love your
attitude. You have to really try. It's not easy because, you know, it's easy to say, well, you know, do this, but you don't understand what I'm going through. But I go through lots too. You know, I have a brother and nieces and nephews and business situations. Every day something goes wrong. It's just, you know, then everybody says, oh, you know, because the moon's in retrograde. To me, it seems like the moon's always in retrograde. Oh, you know, but you know, you have to just, okay, well, I have to just figure out how to work when the moon's in retrograde, you know?
So, Nikki, I have one last question for you, because you've been in this industry. I mean, you are the OG of all this stuff, really. I mean, you have just known and seen how important interviews are and how important it is to just get out there and enjoy life. Where do you think the industry's going? Where do you think, what's happening right now in the entertainment industry?
Well, first of all, I mean, do you get into the Me Too thing, or is that not your
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I've always been, I was always on the cutting edge, and I was always such a freedom fighter for women. And I think that women have made huge progress, and I think now we're at a point with this Me Too thing where they don't put a little tail on it, it's going to start backfiring for women. Because I hear people say, I'm not going to hire any more women. So when you think that 23% less CEO women this year than ever. So you've got to, like, you know, you can't get sucked into these things, you know? I mean, relationships are good and bad. I mean, what I used to think was flirting, you know, is now rape. You know? I mean, give me a break. I used to like it when a guy whistled at me and, you know, flirted with me a little bit. Now everything, nobody's speaking to anyone. Men don't like women at all. They weren't that crazy about us to begin with.
Well, I mean, just let's just, like, whoa! Like, I know there's people that would be watching this like, whoa, hold the door. Like, come on, there's people that have literally been sexually assaulted, harassed, and so we want to honor those people. Yes. I don't want to not honor those people.
I'm the first person to fight for them. I've been fighting for women since I was the first woman among the first 5 female stockbrokers. It's up to the woman to take care of yourself. You don't go to a man's hotel room at 2 o'clock in the morning unless you're planning on sleeping with him. And that's the bottom line. You don't go to a hotel room at 2 o'clock in the morning. Why? You go meet him in the afternoon. Take someone with you. Always protect yourself.
There's many women that did not go to hotel rooms that got, you know, into
I'm not
bad
saying
situations.
that. I'm not saying that there isn't that moment. There are people that are being accosted. There are, I mean, you still have to take care of yourself. I mean, I've been in the most bizarre situations. I've always protected myself.
You've navigated it very gracefully.
You have to look over your shoulder at all times.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, without question. I mean, and I feel very badly for the next generation of women. I think they're going to have it much tougher than we had it, because my generation paved the way for women. And now women are going to get, it's all going to come down on them. And I feel terrible about it.
Completely think that there's going to be an entirely new way of doing business, and women are creating, and we may be doing different things than CEOs. It may look completely different than the model of how business has been done. And so I know the perfection of it, and I agree that there is a backfire to all of it, but I do believe that there's something birthing that we don't know. And you have been such a light, and I do hold you in your inspiration of what you've been up to.
But you know, I believe that, you know, everything has to go to the extreme before it comes back to being normal. That is always said in there. I don't think that these women, the young women today, really have to be positive. They really have to set their goals higher than ever. You have to be smart, well-educated, and you have to always be a lady. It's you can't say, oh, I didn't get the job because everybody's falling by the wayside. Somebody's going to get that job. It might as well be you. So you have to treat it with respect. You have to treat it with knowledge. You can't just throw yourself into situations. And I mean, listen, I have so many women, young women, that come to me, which I'm flattered, and they say, how do I propel myself, during these trying times? How do I get a job? Should I go to college? Should I get a job? What should I do? Everybody's different. College isn't for everyone. I didn't go to college. I just was going to get married and live happily ever after. I mean, whoever knew that I was, going to do the things that I've done. And I think today there's so much insight and there's so many positive things. I'm surprised how women are today, the young girls today, really have no idea what's going on. In a way, with the internet, has even made it more complicated. Because when I was young, I mean, you just had to figure it out. You couldn't sort of dial it in, And I think it's up to everyone. You have to give your children positive input. Negativity is the worst thing that you can have. Whether it's business, somebody's going to get the job. It might as well be you. Or somebody's going to get the boyfriend. It
might as well be me.
It might as well be me. I'm over here. But you can't fall down on yourself. You must get up in the morning. I get up in the morning and I thank God every day for being here. How lucky am I to be alive and be well and be happy and have fun? It's up to us. So you have to talk to yourself and give yourself that spirit.
I absolutely love that. So one of the pieces of research that we're really familiar with these days is how important optimism is, and they found that optimism is more highly correlated with success in every area of your life than anything else. So I just love your positivity.
But it's the
I love your
truth,
optimism.
Don't you? If you go into a job interview and you say to yourself, "I'm not going to get this job," you're not going to get the job. If you go in there and you're positive, and you bring something to the table. You can't just expect people to hire you just because you're a good dancer. You have to bring something to the project. And we're in a situation now where everybody has got to really be responsible for themselves. You have to go in there and say, I own this. This is going to be my job. I'm going to bring something to you that you've never had before. You have to be, don't be afraid to, to be positive. It's important. You have to make people, they want to hire you because they think that you're going to bring something to the table.
And I'd rather work with positive people.
Yeah,
honestly, right?
I mean,
it's so much better company.
I mean, I've worked with some of the craziest people in the history of the world. When I started my television show, I had two fabulous gay guys that were Andy Warhol actually gave them to me. He said, "Here, take the DuPont." And they were great. They had their own little niche, and they got us to Rio de Janeiro, and they could find Robert De Niro in the middle of the night and all sorts of different things. Everybody sort of brought something to the table. I had, Cornelia Guest, I would come back to my office, and she was throwing pickles out the window, but somehow we always got it done. You have to stay on top of it. You have to make sure that everybody works well together. And if there's somebody there that you're having frictions with it, or either jealous or want your boyfriend or want your job or whatever it is, you have to sit down and talk to them and say, if you want to continue to have this job, you better get your act together because your life is on the line. Don't be afraid to tell people where you stand with them, because if you don't, it slides into the abyss, You have to really stay focused, and you have to have communicate. You have to communicate with people. You have to tell them what you want, how you feel, what you need. You just can't express. And the other thing is, you never take anything for granted. Because if somebody tells you they're going to do something, it doesn't mean they're going to do it. Your time is not their time. Your desires are not their desires and their needs. They'll get around to it when they get around to it.
Nikki, when's the book coming out? That's what I want to know.
Well,
this feels like doesn't it?
What happened was I ended up, when I wrote my book, wrote my memoirs, Overdressed When Naked, we decided to make it into a screenplay. So now it's hopefully going to be a screenplay. And I'm working on a big project with Robert Evans now to do a movie. Hopefully we're going to get it done in the next couple months. So I'm doing lots of different things with lots of different people. That's very important too. You have to sort of spread yourself out. You can't just stay focused on one thing, because then you get sort of bogged down with it. You have to really get in there. It's, I'm the most enthusiastic person there is, but if somebody tries to cross me or screw me or lie to me or something, their days are numbered.
No, never.
Don't cross me.
Well, you have to love her spirit. That's all I know.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
Never give in, never give up,
and never take no for an answer.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Simone, and this is Jasmine Moyer, and we're at Focus TV Network, and we are reporting to you what happened this week in Focus. Last week on the #HarryandKelly Show, we had
Ryan Kendrick.
Yes. On the LA Home Show, we feature
a very special guest with her own furniture company, Ms. Farrah Abraham.
On Purpose with Brittany Zonker, we had
Acro Yoga with Andrew Seeley, Cupping with Dr. Lee, and also Eric Bigger.
Speaking of Andrew Seeley, he was on Good Morning La La Land.
He did, and I tried Acro Yoga here on set for the very first time.
I think we had some footage of that.
Oh God.
Speaking of Good Morning La La Land, we had a week full of guests. Who was on that show?
We had a ton of special guests. I'm so excited to announce we had Farrah Abraham on the show. She brought her daughter, Sophia.
So cute.
We also featured JJ Jurgens, the creator of Tom Girl TV, as well as James Arthur Ray. We also had a great demonstration by Andrew Hernandez, who is a special instructor for Strong by Zumba. And then I also had the incredible honor to go on location to the Gibson showroom for the final broadcast from their stage.
Speaking of the Gibson event, you were at a lot of events last week.
I was. We were also celebrating Concern Foundation's 44th annual block party at the Paramount Backlot. And if you can't tell, we have a lot of fun here. Let's take a look.
COO and founder of Building Construction Group, Scott Harris.
Sorry, it's co-founder.
Oh, fuck me, Natalie. And co-founder of the Building Group, Scott Harris.
Thank you, Building Construction Group.
Oh shit, let's do it again.
Once you go chocolate, you don't want to stop it.
God.
I'll stop.
Why are you making it so complicated? She has it going in and out and in her shirt again.
This is so hard. What else do I need to do?
Andy Cruz to the monitor. We don't know. I don't know what my hair looks like. I have to. It's not fair.
The heavyweight, the UFC middleweight. I totally fucked that up. Hang on a second.
I wish my boobs looked like yours. Where are they?
On last week's episode of #Harry and Kelly, we had
Ryan Kendrick. Yeah. I almost called him Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, why are we not taking like outtakes?
Yeah, why aren't we
this is
taking
so
this?
funny.
Thank you all so much for the laughs and being community powered. That was This Week in Focus. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm so excited because Auntie Agnes is in the house. She is one of the top 75 most influential influencers on Instagram. You've built quite an empire for yourself.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, I started my Instagram account in 2012, so it's been
wow.
6 years.
One of the most incredible things about this, though, is that you've done it in a way where you are very socially responsible.
Mm-hmm.
You're incredibly ethical. You're also vegan. I mean, you've really kind of created this brand on a very eco-friendly lifestyle.
Right. So I became vegan when I started my Instagram. I wasn't vegan, obviously, and I became vegan about maybe 4 years ago for health reasons, and then it just. Like my platform just blossomed from that point on. I think a lot of people really relate to an eco lifestyle right now, especially in Los Angeles. And we're getting a lot of messages every day. My team usually answers between 30 to 70 messages a day from people all over the world, asking for tips and suggestions on how they could, transition to a vegan lifestyle. Like what would be the first steps.
So, question for you, just for the people out there watching, what is it that you do exactly?
So I actually work with a lot of brands. I partner with a lot of brands. I mean, I'm a ballerina. I still dance 5 days a week. I still rehearse. But as far as my platform, I basically work with a lot of eco-friendly brands and sustainable brands to promote a lifestyle that I really believe in.
So you're the true influencer. You have followers because you have this beautiful art and a message, and then now you've teamed up with brands.
Right, correct, yes.
What's been the most challenging sort of part of building that brand and building that business? Has been something specific?
I literally had to basically pause everything in my life and just focus on building my brand for 7 years now, 6 years. I was on Instagram 7 days a week, 5 to 7 hours a day.
Really? Did it drive you crazy at any point?
No, I really love the platform. I'm really obsessed with it. Like I mean, I get really nervous when I'm not on Instagram.
Separation anxiety.
No, because I hear that from a lot of my friends, like they hate it. Like they don't want to have to check their messages, they don't want to respond to comments and all of that. And I love that. I thrive like connecting with people from all over the world that I would never have connected to begin with.
What do you do for 5 to 7 hours on Instagram?
I was like basically finding everybody that I like the aesthetic that I like, the people that I want to emulate, and those are usually, they were very, very big influencers, like with millions and millions of followers, and just kind of like setting my goal, like where I want to take my platform.
So where do you want to take your platform? What is your mission with this, Agnes?
So right now, I think I'm really excited about launching my new clothing line. It's starting next week. I have a new t-shirt line that's completely sustainable and fair trade. Also a shoe collaboration with a local vegan shoe wear that I'm really excited about. So we're going to use vegan leather that's a lot more eco-friendly, and you're not hurting the animals. There's all the fabrics are basically vegan and plant-based. I'm also excited just like I have a few partnerships, upcoming partnerships that I'm really excited about with different sustainable brands. Some are very well known, but right now we're in the process of due diligence, making sure where the items are made, because even huge sustainable brands, some of the items are made in China, and you have to kind of look into that process.
But just to play devil's advocate, because I'm really good about it.
It's
like okay, so I get like to not harm animals. Duh, that's like 101 of life.
Yeah.
But I get also like, do we need more products? Like even if they're sustainable, like if they're over in China or they're whatever, like we're creating more stuff, more fuel,
more consumption,
more whatever. Like so. I don't know. Like I kind of look at the whole movement. I'm like, that's cool, but it's a little bit.
I hear you. Yeah, I don't shop ever. Yeah. Like I mean, because first of all, like a lot of brands send me some items, so I try to actually donate instead of like consuming more. And the items that I'm planning to launch, they're all zero waste, so they're all recycled materials.
Yeah,
so
I love that. I'm so into like the second designer stores.
Right. It's amazing. I mean, it's like much more fun to shop at a secondhand store because you have like a history behind the garment, and you
What would be your top 3 tips to somebody who wants to create a more eco-friendly lifestyle? Not just necessarily vegan, but just a more eco-friendly lifestyle.
I would ditch any plasticware. Like that would be the first step that I think for myself personally, I basically just throw away anything that's plastic. Recycle whenever you can, and shop secondhand. I think that's where I would start. Yeah.
And what would you say your top 3 tips were for building a brand?
Building a brand. Consistency. You have to post every day. You have to know when is your peak hour. You have to know the demographic of your audience. So I think just consistency in posting and your branding and your message is really important. I think that's the first tip. Second tip is you really have to engage with your followers, because to me there's no point in having millions and millions of followers when you're not really engaging with them, and they're not coming to you for advice or for tips or even just ideas on how to better their life. I think there's really to me there's no point in having tons of followers and no engagement.
To be worshipped. Just to be worshipped.
There's a great book, it's called Abundance, and it's all about how we have all the technology to basically solve all the world's environmental problems, but now it just needs to be implemented. And I truly believe that we're coming to a point where we're going to be able to really clean up the world.
Right.
But I just want to say thank you for all your work, and I think it's really important to be a stand for that in any way we can serve and get involved, especially with that used clothing thing. I love that.
It's all about.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Tell people where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Artsy Agnes on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Perfect. Thank you, Agnes, for being here. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Good Morning LALALAND. A Long Time, your new single, produced by Pooh Bear.
Yes.
Works with the bees.
Yes.
This is massive.
It is, yeah. I was so amazed because I actually wrote a song about Justin Bieber in my previous album, and suddenly, Pooh Bear comes along, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I gotta meet Justin. This is like, this is fate, this is destiny right here. So yeah, it was an amazing experience working with him. He's super talented, he's so humble, he's so down to earth, and it was just a blast working with him. You know, I'm living the best life. I have great parents, I have such good friends, I have a dream, you know, I have my music, I have my friends, so I think I'm really happy.
Welcome back to Purpose. I am your host, Brittany Zonker. I am flying with Anders Seeley, the acro yoga instructor. This is insane, guys. I've been like this for like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Out. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. It feels like you should do this every day to me.
You can set up some sessions.
This feels amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, if you want to train with Anders Seeley, all you have to do is look him up on Instagram. He is absolutely incredible. I've had an amazing time interviewing Mr. Seeley today. He teaches all over the world. He will help your body, mind, and your soul find your purpose. For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
I mean, you have been a host and much more than that for many, many years. Any tips you can give us?
You start early in the morning here, so as long as you have somebody who like picks up the speed for you, it's kind of like any relationship, right? Like someone has to have your back. Like if they know like you're not knowing where the next camera is, the next question, you know, as long as you're in tune with each other. But I think your show is incredible, and I'm so thrilled that I could be a part of it today. But more than that, it is about saying, hey, you know what, we need to impact change. What is the one little way in our own world that we can impact change? And whether it's you guys interviewing certain people, bringing awareness to topics, this is what needs to happen, because we've all woken up and we know, we know what the future is if we keep going down this path.
I know that the calling and the purpose is so much greater than me trying to get my hair right, to go to the red carpet and whatever. I got to keep up because the purpose is so great. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are here with Detroit born and raised rising star, Miss Angela Lewis. Hi.
You look so gorgeous. That yellow is popping.
Thank you.
And we love watching you on Snowfall.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about your journey. I mean, from Michigan to La La Land, now on FX.
Yeah, so I went to University of Michigan. I got my bachelor's of fine arts and acting, and then I moved to New York, and I was in New York for a long time doing a lot of theater. And I've been here in LA for 4 years, and I booked Snowfall 2 years ago.
Wow. So tell us about the show for people that have never seen the show.
Yeah, so we're in season 2, right? And season 1 is 1983 LA, and season 2 is 1984 LA. And it's all about how cocaine came to LA and then turned into crack. So it's a gritty, intense drug drama. But we start before crack happens, and then it's really a lesson, and a hindsight is 2020 kind of exercise in how it came to be and how it has affected the communities. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your role. It's a very challenging role that you play.
Oh, Aunt Louie, yeah.
Hashtag Aunt Louie.
That's right. Aunt Louie is Franklin's wildcat aunt. Franklin is the lead character, and she's got hands, which means she can fight really, really well, like really well.
Exceptionally well.
Yeah. But she's a tough cookie with a really soft inside, and she's really just trying to take advantage of this opportunity that her nephew has to kind of come up in the world, to open some doors for herself. She wants to live in the world, experience the world, and be everything that she knows herself to be, and doors have been slammed in her face, you know, throughout her life. She's been always told no, and so this is her opportunity to kind of make something of herself.
Right. So what do you think about crack and that, you know, drug addiction? What do you feel like? I mean, I know you're not an expert in that, but just being in the conversation around it, like, what do you feel like some of the answers are for that?
Well, obviously, crack is bad, drugs are bad, and that always sounds kind of corny and cliche when you say it like that, but it is the truth. They're bad. Just stay away, you know. But from doing this show and, you know, the crack epidemic, and now in 2018 with the opioid health crisis, what I just really want everyone to understand, addiction is addiction, you know, and no person or community of people should be treated any differently. When crack came out, it was, you know, oh, those people are crack addicts, they did that to themselves, throw them in the jails, you know, lock them away. And now it's, With a different community of people, it's a health crisis. We have to take care of them. What's wrong with the world? You know, we have to solve this crisis. And it is the same thing. And we shouldn't treat any community of people any worse or any better than the other. You know?
So true.
Such a powerful point. You know, I often have conversations, and one of the things I've discovered, Erin and I, you know, the addiction field, and one of the things you realize is that at the end of the day, everybody just wants to be happy.
That's right.
And there are some paths that work and some paths that don't work, and drugs just happens to be one of those paths that does not work.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Yeah, and people, you know, you can be rich, poor, black, white, anything in between, and other, and still fall into that. And so we really have to learn how to find other ways to find happiness and to learn to love ourselves and each other.
What have you done that for you? To find happiness and to love yourself?
Yeah, meditation is key for me. I think, you know, we live in a crazy world, and even just in my own career, it gets crazy and it's a whirlwind, and you know, everybody is trying to get something from something and something from you. And so the more you can take time to just reflect on who you really are, the truth of yourself, and how you're connected to everyone, everything, and this entire universe that is so vast, and how do you find your specialness, it's really important to just take a moment and just be in silence and be connected.
Are there any teachers or authors or folks that inspire you or have taught you sort of how to do that, remind you to do that?
Yeah, I go to Agape, where Reverend Michael Beckwith leads.
Yeah, we love him.
And yeah, he inspires me for sure. Deepak Chopra, Oprah Winfrey, definitely. Yeah, those are some of my main.
So beautiful.
So what's next for you?
What's next? You know, that's always an interesting question. I don't know. You know, I'm just open to big, wonderful things coming my way. I try to stay flexible. I try to stay positive, and just knowing that what is right for me is here, and it's just a matter of me being in the right place to receive it.
It's also on FX. You
Well, we're so inspired, and you have this beautiful, beautiful energy carrying through. And knowing, big shout out to Agape, to Michael Beckwith, knowing that there is a divine right action, and that is, you know, drugs never get to the right action, but knowing that there is nothing separate from us, no criminal separate, this is all of our spiritual disease as a culture. And so knowing that we're all in this together, and so wherever we can educate, enlighten, and reach out with compassion is always the right action. So thank you so much for everything you're doing. Yep. Stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
You got this, girl. Here we go.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me laugh.
That was a good practice run, though.
It was a practice run, a little slow on the uptick. Let's.
Hi, my name is Jessie Golden, and I am the creator of The Golden Secrets, a completely, no, hang on a second, sorry. Can we start over?
I'm Wendy Brokaw. I'm Paula Marshall. By the way, this is politics, okay? This is not ticks. I hated it. Let's do it one more time.
Well, that's why I created Just a Thought meditation recordings, so that you can meditate in your sleep. Pause it there. Can you edit it in?
Being new in town, it gives me a perspective on, oh shit, no, that was wrong.
No, can we start all over? That's too much talking. No, I'm an actress. I mean, you've seen me. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's like so hard. It's so hard. That was so hard.
Once you go chocolate, you don't want to stop it.
Oh, God.
I'll stop.
Let's do it one more time.
Bitching,
Didn't work.
complaining.
Let me do it one more time.
We're gonna do it one more time.
Ready? And action.
Do I just talk again?
If you are vegan, you get a vegan broth. Jesus, guys. Fuck. I'm blah, blah.
I wish my boobs looked like yours. Where are they?
It's single issue.
Single issue!
Single issue.
Andy, did I make it fun yet?
Thank you. It's no longer a golden secret. We're done!
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are manifesting happiness today with our three beautiful, brilliant guests. Question of the day is, how do each of you manifest happiness for yourself and others? Let's start with you, Nikki.
Well, I spend most of my day really trying to be positive, and when people call me and with their problems, I try to, you can't cheer everybody up in 1 second, but I try to give them certain steps and certain things to do to sort of keep it together and understand that, things pass and that you have to take things very slowly and nothing ever turns out the way you want it to. So you just got to, just don't take no for an answer. Just, to me, no is a soft yes.
That's great. That's great.
I love that. Meditation for me is very important. I take a lot of time throughout the day to just be with myself. I need a lot of time to just be with myself, basically.
And what is that meditation like? Is it just sort of spending time alone?
Or just like working on my breath, like counting my breaths and just be in stillness for a little bit and just doing what I love to do. Like I could never take on a job that I don't love. So just doing what I love and just meditating, I guess.
I would say in addition to meditation, I observe. So I observe the moments that I feel really joyous, and I like wearing yellow. I know that yellow makes me happy. Observing like the sky, I like to pick out different shapes of the clouds, things like that, and just bring more of those things into my life. And in terms of manifesting happiness with other people, I just shine my light, and I know that light is contagious. When you shine your light, I feel that, and I want to shine my light, and I just try to bring that.
We are all feeling lit up today. So I feel lit up.
Shine, that's what I like to say. Well, we are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. You can also listen to your favorite interviews as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right, we're waking up the world together. Please like and share, comment, you guys. Have a wonderful day.
It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.
Yeah.